Hello, 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 everybody, everybody. What's crack? What's up? What's going on? How is everybody doing? Guys, people of the sea, people from everywhere. Let's start off with this real quick. Today is Halloween, just so you know. Yay, yay, yeah. I don't know. I'm not doing anything for Halloween. I'm just not. I got a lot of things going on today. So yeah. But yeah, so tragedies all over the world, guys. Oh, we got tragedies all over the world. Hello, deflection. What? I finally have someone in the live stream that I haven't seen in 2 decades. Because I've been off the internet for like 5 months or so. But yeah, this is my bedroom. We're in our bedroom now instead of the living room. So it's just the bedroom setup. Happy Halloween. Yeah, I know. We're chatting and chilling. I just started, so I'm gonna be talking about the tragedies all over the world. Now I was gonna name it a different title because there's just been so many tragedies that I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna say all kind of tragedies. Thumbs up. Thank you for thumbs up. Thumbs up. And drinking my H2O over here, and the sun is blazing in my face. Ah. So let's start off. I'm trying to see what came first because there's a lot of tragedies that happen to this world. But let me start off with the wildfires. Oh my goodness. These wildfires, man. It was so devastating to see random wildfires everywhere. Hawaii, freaking California. California is known for wildfires, but it's all like, bro, it feels like someone's setting these fires. It's just a lot. There was a lot of fires going on, and nobody knew. And even here in Houston, we had a fire warning because of the air was so dry. Where it's so like, since the air is dry, or like we haven't had too much of good rain, everything was kind of drying out, and then we would have random little batches of fire patches, like people would have patches of fire, grass fire, and it'd just catch on fire and set the whole thing on fire. And it's all like, these wildfires were freaking crazy. And so many tragedies that happened, and a lot of people had to evacuate in California, in the parts of California, because their whole house, they were gonna have like, there was like a big balls of fires coming towards their house, so they had to evacuate. When they evacuated, they didn't know. I mean, it's devastating to know, but they didn't know if their house was gonna be on fire, because they had to evacuate, because the whole area had to evacuate. Crazy, yes, I know, and that is very, very devastating to even think about, because it's like, you work so hard for everything in your household, no matter if it's your TVs, no matter anything, even pets, you work so hard and so long, and then it just completely gets destroyed by the fires. And if you don't have the right insurance, like how homeowners insurance, man, you're kind of screwed. And how go over, and you're kind of screwed because you're trying to figure out, how you're gonna make things meet. We might all need to evacuate this planet. Yeah. Oh, don't tell me about that. That's what I'm talking about. Random tragedies that are, that I've seen happen. The other tragedy is going to be, let's skip over that. The other one, no, let's just put it back to back. Another tragedy is, what the heck is up with all the flooding? The flooding is another freaking tragedy. We had flooding dams come overboard, and they're like, "Oh, we don't know who opened the dams." You don't know who opened the dams, and the dams weren't like full of regulations. Like what happened at that children's Christian that site, that Christian church camp, bro. You're telling me they just washed away the they're in camp, and a lot of people were all over the place because I guess they're just going they're choosing and picking race over everything else. And the majority of people that went there was white kids and stuff, and it just becomes a whole big bundle because now everybody is so touchy feely. And it was all over the news. They don't know where the little girls went. All of them just vanished. Some of them had to hide in trees because oh, it got flooded while there was barely even rain, right? I know. And it was like that for a lot of places. Even Mexico. In Mexico, just random dam just and I'm all like, God, these people's houses are floating all the way on the street. Everybody's garbage is all over the place. And then like the amount of rainfall happened all at once. And it's all like, no, it did not all happen at once. That there's no way that all of a sudden all this rain fell and the dams just exploded full of rain. No, somebody was actually, either the dams didn't have maintenance done or what. Nobody is even racing. Nobody's even racing. What you mean by racing? Well, a lot of people are being racist if that's what you're saying. There's a lot of people. Mm-hmm. How about Jamaica? I know Jamaica, since that's a new subject too. But Jamaica, man, what the heck? See, the first hurricane to ever hit Jamaica, and the thing is, people were feeling sorry for them, but you scroll on TikTok, all the Jamaicans are all over the place. They're living the life. They're over here chasing the thunderstorm, chasing being outside, because they've never seen rain in their life. So they never seen a hurricane in their life, so they don't know how to act, basically. So I see a lot of comments like on people's pages about the Jamaica. They're like, don't feel sorry for them because they're actually just going crazy. They're like, put their hands in the air like they just don't care and going crazy and having parties. Some of them did lose their lives, which is common in that area where they're at. There's a lot of muds and stuff. What gets me every time though when it comes to weather tragedies is that everybody stocks up on food, right? And everybody's like, they're going to the grocery store stocking up on food. Now, where are you putting this food? Because if your house flies down the street, where is your food? Like, now we're going to be loitering over here people's houses because they got X amount of food, unless they put it in the basement or something. But sometimes I wonder, I'm like, everybody's grabbing food, but where did their food go if their house is completely submerged underwater? It's so crazy. Oh, hello. Oh my God. Love Bless is in the building too. Happy Halloween. Love Bless. Okay, you're streaming right now. I know it's Halloween. Halloween is like it's not even like a traditional holiday, but it's pretty fun if you make it fun. I'm not doing anything this year. I have a lot of things going on today. I had to do a lot of things, so I didn't do anything. Usually I'll go out and just go, hike. I'll go roaching, eat people's candy, and I'll go grab the candy and be like, that's mine. But this year, no, I didn't do anything. This year it's just sit back and relax and chill and vibe, And right now I'm talking about tragedies. If you are here, if you joined the live stream after the fact that I uploaded, you can hear whatever. But right now I'm just talking about tragedies. I will probably pop up to your live stream maybe when I'm done. Yeah, I'll be getting those candies, man. So Some days it be like that. Some years it be like that. So yeah, let's see another tragedy. I had wrote it down. Oh, it was so random. This is not. This is kind of like all over the world at the same time. What I've been through, and let's see, about I don't know, 2 months ago, 2 or 3 months ago. It was a while. I'm looking at my notes because I have a note. It was shoot, like 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning, and I see cops. And usually when I see cops roaming around or ambulance roaming around my apartment complex, I want to know what the hell's going on. So I'm over here like, oh, I gotta go test. I'm not serving candy. No, you're not serving candy. Sorry, my neighbor. I don't know what he's doing something with his truck. But one time I went and I saw at the end of the street there was oh my goodness, I guess he's sawing something. At the end of the street I saw ambulance and I saw cop cars and stuff covering up. There was this lady, and it said on Citizens app, lady unconscious. And I was like, there's a lady unconscious, and she was on the floor just passed out. And I was roaching. I was all like, what's going on? I see a whole bunch of people around her, plus the ambulance and stuff. There was one guy that said that she was arguing with, I guess her boyfriend or something like that, but they kept hitting each other. And I'm like, what? So supposedly, either she got hit in the wrong spot and she got left unconscious, or they drugged her or something, or they did something bad with her. But this lady was like, that's crazy. And it's all like all these tragedies all over the world is crazy. Oh, look at here, we got everybody up in the building. Diamond's over here. I'm out giving candy, but I'm here. Oh, look at you giving candy. That's crazy. You know, I was just saying this earlier, that I used to go out and used to go to people's houses, but it would be dark. By the time everybody starts trick or treating, it's dark. So I'll be with the families. I don't know these families. I don't know these. I think I have it too on my YouTube channel. And I was like, I'm right with them. I'm behind them, and they're like trick or treat, and I'm all like, yeah, yeah, I'm with them. And I'll just grab a handful of candy and I'll put it in my. I have this McDonald's, this little McDonald's little tray that they had about 2 years ago. I remember like even more than that, 2 or 3 years ago. They still have them. It was like a limited edition, and I got that, and I went around because back then, whenever it was different, people used to leave candy out on the curb. People used to leave candy out on the curb, and I used to be like, ugh, I grabbed the candy. But I wouldn't dress up. I would just go natural, like normal, like a normal person. I would just be like, follow the kids and ha ha ha, trick or treat. There's one more coming. I'm going to a long call. Be back if you're still in a few hours. All right. Thank you for joining. This is a lot of people. I haven't had this many people in a while. Thank you. And I'll be here for a lot longer. Let me see. I'm at 15 minutes. But off and on, I'll be talking about different stuff. Okay. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, Diamonds. It was good to see you, too. Man, Diamonds over here. I bet you were roaching all this time. Yeah, I don't know. There's a random heart button. What does it do? Oh, I can't even send a heart to myself. I didn't even know that. They're doing some. The way the system is on YouTube is weird. But yeah, so I'm talking about tragedies for about. Let's see who we have. Who we have? 3 people up in the chat. Yeah, 3 people up in the chat. So every third person. Let me see. I usually stay on for 30 minutes. An hour and 15 minutes. I'll be here for an hour and 15 minutes. Hopefully my phone doesn't die. I'll plug it in. Plug it in, plug it in. You know, everybody sings that song whenever you say plug it in. Let me plug in my phone. Probably be dark by the time. Oh, let's see. I think this cord is long enough. Hopefully it doesn't make a sound when I plug in my cell phone charger. Okay. Alright, I plugged it in. Oh, but it's going crazy. Oh yeah, it's not gonna work like that. Nice. Bear with me, I'm trying to charge my phone. Oh, it's got a knot in it. I wonder. Oh, it's still gonna snag it. Let me go get an extension. Let me see, I'm trying to see what extension I can use. Be right back, guys. Plus this thing is going all over the place. I'll be right back, guys. Plus, let me empty my cup real quick. I am gonna be here for a little bit longer. I got my phone charger. Well, the extension, because I don't know if my extension cord will reach here. That way I don't have no problems on my phone dying. Because my phone be dying. Okay, let's see. Bear with me. I'm trying to charge my phone. Trying to charge my phone over here. Okay. Here. I think it's charging. Plus, the sun is all in my eyes, so I can barely see. Oh, no, it's not charging. Why no charge? Oh, hello, I'm back again. And again, hold on. Got another 45 minutes. Got another 45 minutes. What's that mean? Why is it doing that? Look at the screen is moving like crazy. I don't know if I can charge this phone while live streaming. There it goes. It should be all over the place. Okay, I'll go leave it there. So yeah, that lady was left unconscious, guys. Man, these people, man. I got another one too, but I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna leave it for another video. But there's tragedies all over the world that's happening, and we can't make any sense of it some days. I can't. I know for sure I can't. There's another tragedy that happened just recently. The Charlie Kirk tragedy. Guys, when I tell you, I've seen many people. I mean, many, let's just make it like many newscasts, news people, news media, news in general. Whenever they talk about a tragedy that's happening, they cut they end up cutting that portion of what happened. So let's say if some lady gets ran over, they cut the part where they get ran over. In this case scenario, guys, the Charlie Kirk situation, tragedy, it was out there for everybody to see. Everybody to see. And I'm all like, bruh. You rarely see that stuff on the internet, and I do not know the guy. I do not know the guy. I don't know his speeches. I did not know anything about this person. But when I heard that he got assassinated, that was like, and how he got assassinated was like, dang, you're just gonna put that out on the internet like that? Like, they'd be so for real. They could just put that out on the internet like that? Like, what the hell? I mean, what the heck? Because that is wild. That wild. Now, guys, I understand what kind of person he was. He was an activist. He was a person of interest of, you know, different. Try not to make it sound so bad just in case somebody comes up on here. But he had a different way of thinking about different things, like everybody else. Not everybody is on the same page as everybody. Everybody has different opinions about different subjects. That's totally on them. That's totally fine. But you want to know how I feel. Like, seeing that tragedy, I was all like, bro, what the heck? But at the same time, I want to know why that person did it. And they're like, I when I see that, I'm all like, okay, that person did it for a reason. Why? What's the reason? I don't know this person. I don't know his speech or anything like that. By the way, guys, the sun is setting. The sun is setting, so it's gonna get a little darker in here. Plus, I'll be in here for an hour and 15 minutes. But also, my throat is hurting because I'm getting sick. But I went upon myself and looked at his audience. I looked up him, his speeches, his audience. Like, I went down a rabbit hole to figure out who Charlie Kirk was. Now, guys, be open-minded when you hear me talk about this subject. This is a tragedy, a very, very dark tragedy. But I can see why they did what they did. And again, be open-minded. That whole situation was a whole debate. No matter what, if you debate about anything, a debate is a debate. You're going to be talking trash, literally talking trash about different subjects and about how other opinions is trash, and you're just going to be talking a whole bunch of trash. If you talk about trash, a lot of people are going to hate you for it. A lot of people are going to hate you for it. And the way I see it is, yes, that was wrong of them to do what they did, but they did it for a particular reason, because they didn't agree to what his opinions were, which made so much sense. Again, be open-minded. Let me go refill my cup with some more H2O. So, people's opinions have an effect on other people's mindsets, mind brains. If you're telling a person about kids and not having kids and abortions and gay rights, and you're talking about all that, it's bound to happen. And I briefly say a whole bunch of stuff on my channel on a lot of my opinions, and that's why sometimes on my last season I was talking about relationships, I was talking about all kind of things. And the one thing that people need to understand is that have an open mind when dealing with this stuff, but don't offend people in that particular way. I understand his was debates. There was a lot of debates for him. I understand that. But with debates and arguing and going back and forth and just responding the quickest response out of his mouth, it just it annoys people. I didn't know who he was. By the way, guys, my neighbor is cutting something. And I'm trying to film out here. I don't know what he's cutting, but it's loud. Sorry, but just noise in the background. I'm trying to talk. These people, they don't know how to open the door. The door's open. Okay, he stopped. I don't know what he's doing. Okay, stop for a brief moment. Okay, so when you talk about debates, you talk about stuff like that, something's bound to happen to you. The amount of security that wasn't there should have been there for him. And it's very understandable that his assassination was pretty intense, that others took it upon themselves to get free hats or just like tamper with the evidence, tamper with the scenery. Guys, when I tell you that's how the world is, that's how it is. And everybody's gonna like your opinions. But if you debate like that and you tell people, oh, you're wrong about that, you're wrong about this, you're wrong about that, you never discourage young people, especially because he was going to college campuses. You're never going to discourage people to like the same things. Now, yeah, you can say that it was brainwashing, um, brainwashing college kids basically, because he was what, 31, 30 something, so he's in my age. So he's just trying to inform people, but in a demeanor where people don't like. Because nobody likes to say, talking about abortions and stuff, like, oh, you're wrong for aborting people, you're wrong for this, you're wrong for that, you're wrong for that. Nobody wants to be yelled at and screamed at and said you're wrong, wrong. Understand them. Understand why they want an abortion. Understand what they're going through. Yeah, mistakes are mistakes. The moment, the in quotation, in the moment is in the moment. Sometimes you be in the moment with your significant other or a random person, and it happens. It happens. It's in the moment. It's by mistake. Yeah, your hormones has to do a lot with it, but you don't go for shaming people saying those kind of things. But he did. He did, and there's consequences for that. And I understand, you can force shame a whole bunch of people. Force shame a whole bunch of people about that. So on with his situation, that tragedy took a big impact on the whole entire world, guys. The whole entire world. And they had his funeral was held at a football stadium, a stadium with high-end security. Prior to his funeral, they had one guy sneak in that he was not even a security guard, and he was just faking. And it's all like, this is the kind of world we're living in. That we gotta have a high, top-notch security FBI, like all these secret agents, attend a funeral. That is everybody says that, yes, it's the first time in history. And they're like, well, what are they going to do? Again? No. They're going to, the people that support him, they're going to, no. And it's very, like, I don't know how you say it. I don't know. It's kind of annoying to see people in that state of mind where they're like, I don't want to sound so bad. I actually don't want to sound so bad, but after that, like his wife, this tragedy took a whole back impact, right? Supposedly, quotation, allegedly, they shot him and you know, in front of his family. So they did that in front of his family. His wife, his kids, everybody in the field, they did it. This tragedy said that. And then now, all of a sudden, his wife is saying that how am I going to tell his kids? How am I going to tell his kids that he's no longer living on this earth? How am I going to tell them that his dad will never come back? How am I? And so I'm over here thinking to myself, again, be open-minded. Be open-minded. I'm thinking to myself, how old was his kid? His kids were like, I think there was a couple of them that they needed to be held. But some of his kids supposedly they watched that happen in front of their eyes. That's what I thought the case was. Give me a sec, guys. I gotta make sure they're not playing ball around my car. Because there are trick-or-treaters out all over the place. So when she said that, that threw me off. His wife, Charlie Kirk's wife, throws me off. Just hands down. She throws me off. And she reminds me of Amber Turd. You don't know who that is. It's Johnny Depp's ex-wife. You know, all kind of things, Johnny Depp. Where it feels like a fake enactment. And she was an actress before. They said that she was an actor. So it's like, is she acting? Because I'm a little confused. So I'm all like, so confused because it's like, how old are your children? How do they not know about life and death? You teach children about life and death at a very young age. I would say probably like 3 years old. It might be too young, but a 3-year-old should know what life and death is. I mean, hands down. Their fish dies, the animal dies. You let them know what happens after. You know, of course, we don't know in general what happens after death, but let them know how death works and how it happens, how it can be spontaneous. That's the problem with parenting. You don't understand how to parent if you do not know how to break down how a person is no longer to be in their life anymore. A person is not there, they died. You don't know how, parents don't know how to tell kids that stuff. That's what triggers me. So like, I don't have kids myself, but what I do know is you still tell them about life and death. So they had their funeral now. She did her speech. She forgave the shooter. I mean, the issuer. She forgave him. And it's just her. I don't know if she's just acting or she's just happy. Because I don't know about you, but that's not a crying wife. If she's trying to keep it together, Props on her because she looks fake as AF. Doing all those gestures, doing everything. Like, so yes, guys, I went on for a little bit too long about this Charlie Kirk situation. If you didn't hear about it, I basically spent 15 minutes talking about it. But that's another tragedy, guys. There's tragedies all over the world. All over the world, guys. Here's another tragedy before that even happened, guys. This is another tragedy. Hold on, give me a sec. Let me go ahead and turn on this light. Well, you know what? Oh, because my neighbor's outside. Hopefully he'll see. Hold on. Turn on this light. He's cutting something. We'll let him cut whatever it is. I turned on my light. You done, amigo? Let's see something. Okay. So this other tragedy, guys, happened in a was it a subway? In a bus, on a bus. Guys, what the heck is going on? Oh, hold on. My neighbor's cutting some more. He's chopping away. I'm waiting till he's finished. I don't know, he's doing some modifications on his car. His truck. Oh. We're just waiting. Because this next tragedy that I'm going to talk about is epic. Okay, stop. So guys, this next tragedy, guys, devastates me. The reason being is because it doesn't make any sense. So this girl gets on the subway or train or bus, and this guy in the back of her stabs her from behind in the neck, slits her a couple of times, and he walks away. And he says, "I got her. I got that white." Guys, that's a big tragedy. That doesn't make any sense. That's how we know that the world is so corrupted. Just because she was white complected meant that, and he was a black complected, brown complected person. Bro, no. That doesn't make any sense. Like, he's judging the person's skin, and of course we're judging his skin type because of what he did. The girl, they blurred that out too. They blurred out a person that got stabbed in the neck. They blurred that out. But they didn't blur out Charlie Kirk's. That's what's mind-blowing. That is mind-blowing. We saw him get assassinated right there, but the girl on the train, and it all comes down to race, guys. Your race. And it's just like, again, be open-minded when hearing this stuff. And I'm talking about this. But that's not cool. I felt so bad. She was illegal here and trying to make a good, basically trying to make good things come out. That when she lived in the United States, people with Halloween masks. And, I just, It bothers me, guys. It really does bother me when I see these things because it's more of race. It's more of a race that the whole world has against everybody. It's very sad, actually. Very sad to see the world crumble all because of the race of people. This is like a little backstory. It's not a tragedy, but it has a lot to do with race. So if you don't know who Sydney Sweetie is, she's one of my favorite actors. She's a good actor. She plays good models. She's very attractive looking. This is just like a little side story right here. She's very attractive looking. She went with Levi's and made a commercial. The commercial had her in it. And she basically said, she made the commercial and she's, you know, the blue jeans. So she's like, these blue jeans, they're really nice. I get a lot of my jeans. She was talking about jeans and everybody started going crazy. She was talking about these jeans are really nice. I really like these jeans. I have good jeans. And everybody started going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because they're just thinking about race. Oh, but she's a pretty girl. She's a pretty white girl with blue eyes. Yeah, she's talking about jeans, and you didn't talk about the brown people that have different kind of color skin. And I'm all like, no, can we not? Can we not? There's tragedies all over the world like this that leaves the world all over the place. Like we're trying to. I don't know. I feel like America is defeating its own self. We hate each other. We don't love each other. So people, they're like, well, we gotta fill the world with love. How are we gonna fill the world with love when people constantly attack other people because of their race and because of who they are? You don't see a white person. To be honest, be open-minded right here, guys. You don't see a white person doing a crime and saying, what? Because I'm white? What? Because I'm redneck? What? Because I'm Hispanic? What? Because of, like, you don't see other race bring up their skin color as much as a brown skin. Again, be open-minded about that. I see that the world is crumbling. It's going crazy because all these tragedies that keep happening. There's a lot of tragedies. Let me see. What else is another tragedy that I need to talk about, touch base with? I'll be here for another 30 minutes or so. Let me go empty my cup. Give me a sec, guys. All right. There's one last tragedy that I'll probably talk about. I kind of want to leave it towards the end. Sort of, kind of. But, I see people going through a whole bunch of stuff. And I understand that there's a lot of ups and downs in life. It makes sense. We live our life the way we live it. I'll come back. So, if you don't know, you've been living under a rock. Could be living under a rock. We don't know. We don't know these days. Living under the rock, pebbles. We living under the pebbles. Some people. If you don't know, the government shut down. It's kind of a touchy subject, guys. It's kind of a touchy subject. Just make sure that you're aware. The government shut down. Now the government wants to shut down SNAP benefits. Guys, if you haven't seen my last seasons, I talk about a lot about the world. I talk about a lot about the economy. I talk a lot about stuff. These are basically tragedies because they're cutting SNAP benefits. Don't get me wrong. Yes, some people need them. Some people do not need them. Some people are living off of the government because they can get away with it. These SNAP benefits, guys, be open-minded, are for you to survive, not to stuff your cart full of junk food, full of foods that make you fat, full of foods that have high dose of freaking chemicals. Like, there's a lot of stuff in the food that your body can't process. I don't understand, because every single time I see someone on the SNAP benefits, they're all obese. And half of the time, their kids are obese. Yes, I understand. You feed your children, they grow, they get skinny. It makes sense. But those benefits are for you to survive. This is the one big tragedy that's about to happen tomorrow at 12 o'clock tonight. And I'm stoked for it, because again, only some people deserve it, some people don't. If I wish the system was more like giving them the opportunity to get vegetables, meats, different types of meats, vegetables. Like, I think some foods should be off of SNAP benefits, because a lot of the people, they're not eating healthy at all. And then it's all like, you go both ways. They're not eating healthy. At the same time, they're going to the doctor more often, basically. And their health is all over the place. So they need health care providers. So it's like, okay, yeah, give them the SNAP benefits. Give them the free food. Let them stuff themselves. That way the health care, we can go up on their health care. Whenever a person comes to my job, right, we have orientation every Saturday. And one person tells me that they need a 3X to a 4X t-shirt. I'm just thinking immediately, your health. You want the company to pay for your health. That's all it is. Of course, they probably want to They probably need money for rent and stuff. Yeah, all the accessories to live in this world. But I feel like it should be just like smokers. It should be just like smokers. How overweight you are at a job, because the same you can't do the same things that other people do to do the job. You can't lift things because you're too obese. Like there's a lot. There's a lot. Smokers have a benefit too, where it's all like, okay, well, if you smoke, then you are more likely to have bad health conditions, and then they put you on a different insurance. So guys, this is another one. I was saving this for this time. On my second season, I believe on my second or third season, guys. I believe not even that. I think on my last season, I was talking about the getting deportation. Guys, this is another tragedy that we have in this world. We're going to call it deport. I think that's what I've named the video. Deport. Guys, y'all know how much I feel about deport. If you're new here, you do not, just go review my last season. I'm pretty sure it was something about they're getting deported or deport. Y'all know how I feel. The problem with that, in my mindset, again, be open-minded. I'm only going to talk about this for a little bit, but I see nothing more than just myself in other people's shoes, seeing that now they're realizing what you can do in America. And it's kind of like it's kind of hard to say, but let's say I'm a U.S. citizen here, okay? If your parents or you got here illegally, there will be consequences. If you're trying to find things better here in America, make that happen. I'm only going to give this speech a couple of times through my live streams, but if you're going to be here in America, we need you to participate. Sure, you're going to participate by having all these jobs that help other people. You can help other people all you want. You can work for a company all you want, but you're not making an impact on yourself. Because when I think about it, on my shoes, if I'm going to go to a different country, and I say there's a better life in that country, if a better life means going to school, well, first getting your education, as the key, as number one key, your education, which is your all your 12 years in school, of course. And if you haven't done it over there, but if you come over here and you say, okay, well, I'm going to come to America because I want to make a better life for myself. Okay, let's see how you're going to do that. How are you going to do that? We don't want you to come over to America and be construction workers and mechanics. We want you to come to America to make an impact on this world. Be a doctor. Be a lawyer. It takes years to be a doctor, years to be a lawyer, years to be like a judge. Come to America to be those things. If you want to make an impact on this community, on this world, in this United States, come over here and do those things. Don't just be construction workers and that. Sure, they got the what do you call it? The endurance of it. it makes sense. They can go long hours in the hot sun. They can work farms. We don't. We do need farmers, but we need people that own farmers and have their own technology. Like, I don't know. It gets a little sticky, but that's the way I see it. I see a lot of people doing the same mistake over and over and over. Now people are getting deported and now they're scared. My ex mom used to exactly pull back from getting her paperwork. I hope she got deported. Like, I hope. Because, number one, I don't have money to get my paper. I don't have money. Well, why'd you step into America? Get your butt out there. Get the money. Save up for your paperwork to be working here the way it's supposed to. Save up. Oh, no, I can't. I'm too lazy. Oh, I can't. There's no way I can save that much money. Okay, now that the economy is the way the economy is, now that they're taking people off the streets like stray dogs, now y'all want to do something. Now y'all want to do something. Y'all had ample time. These people had ample time, guys, to get their lives and their money straight. Put a little money aside for your papers. It costs thousands, I know, but that's the right way to do it. And now these days, it's going to be a lot harder to be here in the citizens. And I see the struggle. I see the struggle, and I understand the struggle. But that's a tragedy that we're in right now. A lot of people are fearing for their lives. A lot of people are fearing for their families if they're going to be ripped apart from them. Then why didn't you do that in the beginning? Well, I don't have time. I don't have money. That's why you came to America for, is to gain that opportunity of making more money and being a better person of yourself. So that's why I'm so confused. And again, some of y'all OGs know how I feel about that. By the way, guys, the sun has set in. We're officially in the dark. This is the first time ever. But, you know, I can only have a heart and sympathy and empathy for others at a certain extent. At a certain extent. I can only have a heart for certain people at a certain extent. You may be in my life off and on. You may be on my life every day. Like my coworker. She was in my life every day. She has to go get her paperwork and she hasn't came back. Not yet. But it's like, yes, I feel sad. But there's nothing I can do if they didn't help themselves. I'm here. I'm helping myself. I'm spending the money that I need to spend on a budget or off a budget. I'm working. I'm paying the bills by myself. I'm doing everything by myself. I'm making a life for myself. If you're here illegally, you need to do the same. Not just pay rent, pay bills. You need to get your additive, which is your paperwork. You need to provide your money, your hard-working money. It doesn't just go towards groceries, rent, or anything else. It will go towards your papers. And you know, people are all over the place. So yeah, enough talking about this situation. I wanted to touch base on that situation for 10 minutes. Because if you roaching over here and got, come on the channel, you know how I feel about those stuff. That is a one big economy tragedy right there. Big tragedy. Big tragedy, guys. That's what I'm talking about it. Because deport is a major tragedy. I've never seen so many people get picked up like dogs in my life. It's crazy. But hey. So let's see. Let's find another tragedy, guys. I'm a little sick still. My voice is going away, but I'll be here 15 more minutes. If anybody new joins, yeah, I'll be here longer. I got a lot of things off my chest. Tragedies all over the world. People, there's another one too, guys. This is a tragedy happened about like a month or two ago. And in this tragedy, it was this Salvadorian guy and a Hindu. The Hindu guy, he was the ownership of a motel. He had a Salvadorian immigrant working for him as maintenance. And of course, because it's cheap labor, right? Now, the Hindu guys, when they speak English, they speak just the same as a Salvadorian or Honduras. They have that accent, which means it's a misleading accent. So apparently, the guy, the Salvadorian guy, and the Hindu guy got into it, and they started going off. They started going crazy. And they're like, it was supposedly trying to fix a dryer. The Hindu guy got mad at the guy for not fixing the dryer some sort of way. Apparently they had previous beef with each other. Of course, he probably can't fire him because he probably can't find another person. So they got into it with each other. They started arguing back and forth. The Hindu guy goes and runs in, and they start arguing. The Salvadorian guy grabs a machete and starts chasing the guy, the owner of the hotel, the Hindu guy. Starts chasing him with the machete and starts slicing him, like literally slicing him and poking him with the machete. The guy, this is a big tragedy right here. The Hindu guy was screaming for help while his kids and his wife were in the office, and they were going all over the motel. The guy sliced his head, just macheted his head. It is literally, if you don't see, go look at the video. If not, it's pretty graphic, but sliced his head. His head rolls down the pavement. The guy picks up his head and throws it in the trash. The head is bleeding out. His body is headless. His wife and the other guy that was with them, they told him not to go outside. There's blood all over the place. Bro, when I tell you that's a big tragedy, that's a freaking big tragedy. He cut off the guy's head. Plain sight. And then that's when they're like, oh man, I understand your heat of the moment you get very angry in the heat of the moment. It makes sense. But there will be consequences behind that. If he would have hurt him, then of course he would have got deported, or he would have got charged with something. And then the guy would have been injured from injuries. But this is pure manslaughter. That's tragedies all over the world, guys. I don't know, you know. So on my on my Instagram, well, mainly on my Instagram, I talk a lot about news. I talk about tragedies that happen across the world. You know, I talk a lot about stuff. And whenever I tell you that all this stuff happens, they happen, guys. And people don't want to open their eyes and see. People want to close their eyes and act like all this is not happening when it actually is happening. And I know a lot of people that block me because I talk about tragedies in this world, because they're too scared to feel that feeling. I don't know how to say it, it sounds wrong, but they put their emotions there and then they get all mentally all ill. So then they say, I can't look at your post because you talked about a tragedy that happened, and that's very horrible. How can someone post anything like that? And so, like, yeah, I talk about tragedies. Those are the things that are happening in this world. A lot of tragedies are happening, not just around your block, but around the world. I've known so many things happen. You know, it's something to talk about, something to think about. We need to talk about that more often than ever. So, yeah. Oh, the rest is gonna be chill right now. I've been talking for like almost an hour and 6 minutes. If I do come up with another tragedy, I will make another video, but this is literally tragedy. I said a lot of things in this tragedy. The wildfires, the flooding all of a sudden, the Charlie Kirk situation, the slice of the head thing, like, and the stabbing of that young woman, and like I said a lot already. If you haven't seen the video all the way, that's a little sum up. But yeah, guys, it is Halloween. It is Halloween, guys. So we have a lot of trick-or-treaters outside. Everybody needs to be careful because we're going to have more tragedies probably today. I got to be on the lookout. Everybody's going to be on the lookout. People will go crazy. People will be annoying. I don't know if you're passing out candy, guys, props to you, because you're enjoying it. But sometimes we don't know who's going to be on the other side of the door. So y'all be careful passing out these candy. And people need to be careful whenever they're getting their candy. The old trick in the book, guys, is basically making the candy poisonous. So y'all check your candies. Y'all check your candies, and y'all make sure that, of course, look thoroughly, because sometimes you will find some powdered coating all over it and you don't know what the heck that is. So don't consume something that you've never tried. You don't know the flavor of it. There's a lot of evil people in this world, and we need to be careful. No matter what, there's a lot of tragedies happening. Heck, I bet you by the end of the night, there's going to be some sort of another major tragedy, because we don't know what's going to happen. People are trying to have fun. People are dressed up in Halloween costumes. It's 2025. You can dress up in a Halloween costume and nobody beats an eye because it's Halloween. But maybe that person behind the Halloween costume has bad intentions. Never know. So y'all just be careful. But yeah, it is Halloween here. I wanted to talk about tragedies mainly because yes, it's Halloween and tragedies happen every day, and people get. Mm, I don't want it to sound bad, but let's just say people die every day, but you don't know how or when you might pass. We don't know that. But I'm trying not to sound too wrong. But there's a lot of things that I have said that I told y'all guys to be open minded about. I'll talk to you, you talk to me, whatnot. So let me see. We're summing up everything. Let me go empty my cup real quick. I'll come back. I'm coming back. All right, all right, all right. So, with that being said, thank you, Deflection, for joining because I haven't seen you in forever. Literally, I made my live streams. I'm not sure how long. About maybe 2 weeks. I think 2 weeks I have been live streaming. I've been live streaming for 2 weeks, and I haven't seen nobody in the building. Nobody. So I'm glad that you showed up. I will talk about further stuff. I like to talk about life in general. So thank you, Deflection. Thank you. Love Bless. Love Bless was in the building. What the heck? Love Bless. Now you get over here and give me a hug. I haven't seen you forever. And I know you like these kind of talks and stuff, and you like to hear my opinions about life and stuff. And I was just talking about tragedies all over the world because that's the type of person I am. I wanted to talk about these brief subjects that have been happening, and a lot of people like to sugarcoat it. Kind of gets annoying when people sugarcoat things. It really does. Because you're like, it's reality, it's life. You know, we need to talk about this more often. People need to be more open minded and yada, yada, yada. So thank you, Love Bless, for joining. Also, Love Bless, I don't know if I have you on Instagram. I haven't said a whole bunch of stuff to you on Instagram. Diamonds was up in the building. Diamonds what? Diamonds what? Diamonds over here. He living the life. And Diamonds right now is passing out candy and going crazy and celebrating, which I don't. You should. You know, it's a different time. Like I said, I was doing a whole bunch of stuff, and you will know later too. Oh Lord, hold on. Snap. You will know later too what I've been doing. I will. I was gonna save the video for today, but then I was like, it's Halloween. Let's talk about tragedies. I was thinking about that. I was like, let's talk about tragedies while we have a Halloween theme, you know. So yeah, thank you, Diamonds, for showing up, and thanks for providing for the community. But be careful when opening your door to people and strangers because we don't know what their intentions are. I probably sound very mommy right now, but yeah, we need to be careful. If you're strapped, then you're strapped. You know, you're ready to throw down. You're ready to throw down. You know, the sun has set, you guys, and I'm in my room. I'm so glad and happy that I got to talk to at least 3 of y'all, and this is my longest live stream as of right now. And yeah, hopefully we have more like this because it was very interesting talk. Very interesting subject. Very interesting talk. Thank you everybody for joining of my tragedies all over the world. Let's talk, chat, and chill. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.